Collingwood versus Bulldogs. So we've been watching Collingwood in the centre-bounce clearances the last few weeks. They don't have penalty in there. It was a big part of that. But Nicky D took up. Well, he was pretty much the centre clearance for Collingwood in this game. So this is the first one of the first centre-bounce clearance of the game. The umpire did the wonky bounce and now they're throwing it up. Okay, so we're sort of one-on-one at the start here. Nick D sort of got their sweeper. Okay, they've taken them out, but even taking that space away, as we keep saying, is opening up this area here. So even if the Bond gets this tapping forward, he's tapping forward against his goal. So now those other mids can turn and just try and surge that ball forward. Okay, plus you got half forwards coming off the square to close that up, making it hard for him to, one, gather, B, turn and get out to someone else. Okay, they get it here, they get that one there, and they're almost out. And their mids are actually able to get back and fix that, the Bulldogs. But you can see how that vacating the front of that circle, like you don't have to get it there because you're facing that way anyway. Tap it down, even if they're going to get it, you can surge and at least keep forcing that ball forward. So I've got a couple more of these from this game. Alright, Collingwood off to a flyer, so they've kicked their 2 goals. Alright, we've got one-on-one here, one-on-one here, and then we've got sort of Bont and Dacos here. So that looks like the Bulldogs want to protect that at all costs. And they're willing to give up a clearance in this part so they can at least make them kick over them, around them, whichever way. And we just see here, so we've got Bont pointing at Treloar. So I think they're willing to let this slide. I think he wanted him to come take Dacos. Don't let him get the clearance. He's got him, you take him, and then we'll battle it out. Either way, they're getting the clearance from way back here and not in this bit, in the forward bit. So because he doesn't get to him quick enough, he's sort of still half worried about which one. Okay, Cameron comes across the line to create that space behind him here. Okay, it's away from Bont. You've got your block on here. It's just a drop down. Okay, block still on. He can just come out there. He doesn't need long to get the ball to his foot. Make a quick decision and a great kick. Right, this is at the back end of the first quarter. Alright, so we've got here. Okay, they're still protecting this front bit here. This is Gallagher, who was sort of taking Dacos sort of most of the night in spurts. Bont here is like a secondary sort of sweeper, but I think he's now attached to Crisp. So Collingwood are owning, because they've got players with no Bulldogs players, they're owning all this space here. So you've got to give something to take something. So the Bulldogs are trying to take this space here, and then they're going to have to give this space here. Alright, but you'd rather them have to come out and kick wide or get around these other midfielders and just come straight out here. So that's a fair trade-off, I reckon. Okay, similar to before, steps over the line. Okay, creates that space. Alright, he draws these 2 sweepers in as well. And then they're out and he's just over. Like, he knows that space is he's just going to handball there to a space. He's not even going to handball to a player. But he already knows picking this ball up here. He already knows these 2 are in. And he knows that Collingwood, they'll just peel off half a second before everyone else. They're really good at it, anticipating what's going to happen. You've got someone like Dacos, who's a first grab, quick possession player. You can do that with confidence, and he's just got to get it out, which he does. And then they do go out the front, even though they set up not to have that happen. We're in the second quarter here, so this is just Collingwood going corridor. This is a real aggressive kick. I loved it when I saw it. So they've got a mark here from Howe, right on the point post in the defensive 50. Okay, so they had some other players get some marks around here. Charlie Dean just had one a couple of minutes before. Okay, and then they just sort of went, let's go this side of the ground. But when they get one of their real good kickers, okay, they set up differently. Got these Collingwood players here. Look, they're looking in here. Okay, they're not trying to go wide as a defensive kick. It's one of their good kicks. Like he's getting in there. Like they're not really going for a switch either. They want corridor here. Oh, let's see if we can use this space. And here they are. And look, Noble's sort of got an idea what's going on. He's reading his eyes. All right, and then look, we're on here. And that space there. Not a hard kick for an AFL player to do. And if you can do a lowish kick, even in local footy, if you can see that, like a high kick would put things under pressure, but just a low flat kick is all you need there. And now they've got these lanes happening here, just straight off that kick. Handball off. Okay, probably should have given this one to keep the chain going. Holds off, kicks out wide, and Bottle does a shocking kick here. But you can see just that aggressive kick. Like you've got to look for it and wait for it. Like he's looking. He's not even looking over this way at all. Most players in most footy will just look to here, and that's just boring. I don't want to coach my players to do that. I want them to look inboard, have a go, have a crack, see what we can make. So he's not forcing anything because there was players there and there was a space there. So these players got out wide. These ones just held and created that space here. If they kept moving over, okay, that space is not really there because that's where the opposition players are. Our players. You know, and then that gap's not as wide as what it was. It's almost like a set play out of there if they can make it develop with the opposition.